They don't want to deal with that, right? So let me deal with them. You ain't got to worry about them. You just turn away from them and you be patient. وَمَهِلْهُمْ قَلِيلًا وَمَهِلْهُمْ قَلِيلًا. And, give them a break for a little while. Mahalan. Be gentle with them for a while. Okay? Then Allah says, إِنَّ لَدَيْنَا أَنْكَالًا وَجَحِيمًا. At this point, when it starts dharni, Allah starts to explain what He's going to do with them. He says, Inna ladayna. The fact is, we got. This is the language. Ladayna, andana, we have. Ankalan wa jahima. Ankalan is the plural of nickel. You could say it's nickel from the English word nickel, that type of metal. Ankalan are chains made of that metal. Now, what happens when it gets hot? As soon as you put it on somebody, it burns. So he says, we have ankalan wa jahima. And jahima here is the fire, the hellfire of jahim. And Allah says also, وَطَعَامًا ذَا غُصَّةٍ وَعَذَابًا أَلِيمًا. And He says, and also we got food that's going to choke them out. ذَا غُصَّةٍ. It says this is food that's going to wear their throats out, it's going to choke them out. وَعَذَابًا أَلِيمًا. And a punishment that's painful on top of that. And a torment that's even more painful on top of that. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَوْمَ تُرْجُفُ الْأَرْضُ وَالْجِبَالَ وَكَانَتِ الْجِبَالُ كَثِيبًا مَهِيلًا. He says, on a day, تَرْجُفُ الْأَرْضُ وَالْجِبَالُ. On the day that the earth and the mountains are both going to shake. The earth is the flatlands. Al-Jibal are the mountains places. Because if he just said al-ard, it's yakfina an yaqul al-ard. It's enough for him just to say the earth. But he said the earth and the mountains. So every place that you think about, it's all going to shake. Because the mountains are the most firm places. And sometimes people think if it's the earth, I'm going to go get on a firm mountain. But he says, al-ardu wal-jibalu wa kanat al-jibal. And as far as the mountains concerned, if you was thinking about running to a mountain, like the son of Nuh did, and he still got drowned, if you was thinking about it, he says, wa kanat al-jibalu kathiban mahila. And the word, and this is not from mahalan, this is from hala yahilu. So check it out. Kathiban is to be like dust, sand. You understand? Now you imagine a mountain. We live in a mountain. The Bronx is a big mountain. Every time you turn around, you see these big, huge rocks that they couldn't chop up or anything like that, right? Now they say all that's going to be like sand. Like sand, dude. And kathiban, mahilan is like hail. Just we see sand just flowing down, or like a landslide of just dirt and sand. That's what's going to happen to the mountains. It's going to be gone. Does that make sense? And it says, Inna arsalna ilaykum rasulan shahidan alaykum kama arsalna ila fir'auna rasula. He says the fact is that we sent a messenger to you all, a messenger witnessing upon you all, just like we sent to Fir'aun a messenger. Okay? He said, we're sending you guys, or we sent you guys a messenger to be a witness. Shahidan alaykum kama arsalna ila Fir'aun rasulan. Just like we sent to Fir'aun a rasul. And we know what happened. Who was the rasul that went to Fir'aun? Now Harun is not a rasul. Musa, Harun is a Nabi. Okay? But he's not a Rasul. فَعَصَى, and you can say فَعَصَى, or you can say فَعَصَى. فَعَصَى فِرْعَوْنُ رَسُولَ فَأَخَذْنَاهُ أَخْذًا وَبِيلًا. And it says, and so Fir'aun, he rejected. He was asa. What does asa mean? Asaita. He disobeyed. He didn't listen to the messenger. فَأَخَذْنَاهُ أَخْذًا وَبِيلًا. So we snatched him up with a terrible, vicious punishment. We snatched him up roughly. Now, why is that mentioned? The ulama mentioned that it's mentioned here because you're getting a message. Everybody knows what happened to Fir'aun. What more example do you need to stop? Do you have more money than Fir'aun? Do you have more position than Fir'aun had? Even dead, he has the biggest grave site in the world. Right? With the pyramids and everything like that. So, here is an example of what happened to somebody who thought they were bigger and better than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? He said, Ana rabbukumul a'la. This is what Fir'aun said. I'm the big bad Lord. Right? So, And he got taken and snatched up in a tough way. So Allah says, فَكَيْفَ تَتَّقُونَ إِن كَفَرْتُمْ يَوْمًا يَجْعَلُ الْوِلْدَانَ شِيبًا. And here's a question. About everything that Allah just mentioned before, Allah says, after all of that, فَكَيْفَ تَتَّقُونَ. How is it? Kayfa. We know from kayfa haluk. How is it that you're going to have tattaqun, taqwa? But not just taqwa. Here tattaqun, taqwa is a wiqaya, is a shield that protects you. So it says, kayfa tattaqun. How are you going to be protected? How are you going to protect yourself? Because remember, the word literally taqwa is to do something now to protect yourself from something that happened later. So it says, فَكَيْفَ تَتَّقُونَ إِن كَفَرْتُمْ. If you were a kafir, this is in the past tense, and this is a kafir in the dunya. Yawm, on the day, يَجَعَلُ الْوِلْدَانَ شَيْبًا. On a day, on the last day basically, on Yawm al-Qiyamah, that day is going to be so heavy that young boys are going to turn white and gray-haired due to the seriousness of the event. How are you going to protect yourself if you was a kafir in this temporary world and that day comes and that day is so serious that even the children are going to turn gray from fear and fright? You know, they have the thing in America, they say somebody gets scared, all of a sudden they turn white, they do the cartoon thing, and they get all white and everything like that. This is a reality. This is going to be a reality on Yawm al-Qiyamah. You guys know, you follow me when I say that? Then he says, السَّمَاءُ مُنْفَطِرٌ بِهِ. The sky is going to be ripped apart, infitah. It's going to, and we can't imagine that because we can't touch the sky. We don't have it that way. السَّمَاءُ مُنْفَطِرٌ بِهِ. It's going to be ripped up. And we know it's talking about the roof of the sky because the sky is feminine. And munfatirun right here is in a masculine form. And so when you say this, the Arabs say they're talking about the roof. You call this a sama if you mean the roof of something. Right? So he says, as-sama'u munfatirun bih, it means the roof of the ceiling of the ozone layer, if you want to say. Because they have all these different layers of the skin, the canopy. It's going to be munfatirun bih. It's going to be ripped apart, torn. You know? Kana wa'duhu maf'ulan. And if you can't understand that, Allah says, the fact is his promise, it will be done. Whether you recognize, know how or not, maf'ulan. Kana wa'duhu maf'ulan. It's as if he knows, and he does know, what we might think. How can the sky be ripped? Kana wa'duhu maf'ulan. What he said is going to happen. And that's what this means. Inna hadihi tadhkira. He said, and this is, the fact is, all that I've mentioned here, it's a reminder. Inna hadihi tadhkira. It's just a reminder. فَمَنْ شَاءَ اتَّخَذَ إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِ سَبِيلًا. So whoever wants to can take to his Lord a way. He can take the path to his Lord. Okay? And Rabbihi is put before Sabil to show it's what we call al-hasr. It means only to Allah. You want to take a path straight to Allah? Then take this reminder. Inna hadihi tadhkira. It's just a reminder of what's going to happen. فَمَنْ شَاءَ اتَّخَذَ إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِ سَبِيلًا. Whoever wants to, then take a way to his Lord. Because that's the only way you're going to get protection. You know? Now this next part, this is done with that part. Now the message goes back to what initially this surah was about.